afternoon, mid-June 2025. I've just finished some work and looking to kill a little time train watching. Luck would have me closer to Harriman, Tennessee, so I made my way to Norfolk Southern's Emory Gap Yard. The Cno&tp sub is a very busy main line, and you're almost guaranteed to catch some sort of activity any day you decide to show up. I was just pulling into town when I heard an EOT frequency come across the scanner. The train was slowly making its way into the yard and onto the track that leads to TVA's Kingston power plant. Our lead unit started life in 1997 as NS9012, which was a GE-9 44CW. It was then rebuilt in 2020 into an AC44 C6M, changing its road number to what it is now, 4378. Our unit number 2 here is also an AC44. 4670, like most of the 4000 series locomotives, was rebuilt by Wabtec. What you are seeing these locomotives pull are loaded coal cars for TVA's Kingston fossil plant, which is just around the corner from Harriman. They started producing power at this location in 1955, and at the time it was the largest coal burning power plant in the world, a title it held for more than a decade. TVA can burn up to 14,000 tons of coal in a day, or 140 rail cars worth. Our rear DPU is no different than the front. 4544 is an AC44. I did find this one a little unique by the numbers painted on the side of the cab. Not the usual font we see when it comes to Norfolk Southern numbering. I didn't have to wait too long after the coal train, and we get our first manifest heading north. Leading the pack is locomotive 1133, an EMD SD70 Ace, followed by 4588, which is another AC44 C6M. As you can tell from the video, while our northbound is making its way through the yard, we have a southbound manifest that is slowly approaching, making a pass on the track beside. This is best case scenario for me as a rail fan, who has just shown up with no real plan. Now, I gotta admit, I did decide this spot for a reason, and I will get to that a little later. But as far as the timing to see these first few trains, I couldn't have planned it better. Our mid DPU on the manifest in front of us is a GE ES44AC, numbered 8145. These locomotives are nearly identical. 4309 is an AC-44 built by Wabtec in Fort Worth, Texas, whereas 4802 is an AC-44 built by Wabtec in Erie, Pennsylvania. The AC-44 retains the 16-cylinder 7FDL prime mover that was in the core locomotive prior to the rebuilds. It produces about 4,400 horsepower. Let's not get caught up in the locomotives right now and miss this shot of an old C&W covered hopper that still has its side placard. I love catching old rolling stock. I tend to enjoy that more than I do seeing the power units anymore. Eventually, these cars with the emblems of fallen railroads will no longer be seen on mainline tracks, so I try to spot them anytime I have a chance to railfan. Here's another good example of fallen railroads on rolling stock. This is a Southern Pacific auto rack followed by Kansas City Southern auto rack. 9857 is a GE-9, and 4912 is an AC-44, but 1650 was a nice surprise. This locomotive is an ex-Norfolk and Western SD40-2, and at some point they have given the nose an NW logo to honor its past. Coupled behind it is 6345, sporting what can only be described as the best replacement for the Thoroughbred logo. This SD40E has none other than Bigfoot on the nose. Gotta say, I'm a fan. I hope this locomotive is easier to find in the future than Bigfoot is himself. Now back to the mainline action, and the real reason I picked Emory Gap as my location today. You see, I've been keeping an eye on social media all morning, watching for updates on this lead locomotive approaching. This is Norfolk Southern's Southern Heritage Unit, pulling a monster of a manifest southbound. 8099 is an ES44AC painted in the classic green and white scheme, making it one of my favorite schemes on the rails today. This is the first time I'm catching it in person, and it's great to see it leading. The second locomotive is 4904, an AC44. This manifest was a big one. It's normal procedure for me while editing to cut down the overall video lengths by not showing the whole train, cutting out long cuts of the same non exciting car rolling by the camera. But you can tell this was a long one because of their use of two mid DPUs, 8041, which is an ES44AC, and 4223, which is another AC44. As big as this train was, it was still gone in a hurry and on its way toward Chattanooga. There were plenty of rail fans waiting for it further on down the track, some that were going to chase it for a bit, but I was happy just to catch it here today. It made today's rail fanning adventure beyond a success. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to see more of my local rail fanning adventures. We'll see you next time.